My name is Pierre from Beirut, Lebanon. I'm Lebanese American, and I work with an organization called Horizons International. I've lived in Lebanon for the past 9 years after growing up in the United States. And in 2012, started operating our first ministry center here in Beirut, Lebanon, which is actually where I'm sitting now. As the Syrian crisis was heating up in 2011 and 2012, we started noticing that people began responding to the gospel in amazing ways. The openness to the gospel was more than we'd ever seen before. Even though we've been exposed to fruitful ministry among Muslims for decades, as my family and as our organization, we noticed something that we had never seen before as these Kurdish Syrian refugees predominantly began being very receptive to the gospel. And so what that produced was a problem, which is how do we disciple all these people that are coming to Christ? In 2013, we had about 62 names of people that came to Christ in that year. And that was overwhelming for our small staff of 6 people. And we began partnering with the local churches. So we came up with something called sheep stealing program, where we invited the churches to come and steal our sheep. And the reason we did that is because our goal is not to just leave the believers in our ministry centers, but we have a goal to distribute the believers among the churches so that they might be discipled by the churches. That's the end game. So for us, we opened up partnerships with local churches. And when we did that, many problems that we had were solved, and we had many opportunities that were opened up. The next year, in 2014, we started seeing an explosion of conversions more than before. We started seeing 30, 40, or even 50 or 60 people each month making proclamations of faith in Christ from Muslim backgrounds. So when we got to that level, then it became very, very clear that without the network of partner churches on the ground here in Lebanon, we would never be able to even begin to disciple these numbers of people. So the lesson that I learned from that challenge is that the more you connect your work in with the local churches that are there already, even though you have to get over all kinds of relational boundaries and difficulties in that, but the more that you connect in with those local churches, the more the work becomes sustainable, the more the work can grow, and the more that the people that come to Christ can get into the local churches where they belong, so that people can disciple them.